Welcome to Candid Conversations with Michael Scott.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Michael Scott's Candid Conversations. A lot of people say, Michael, how do you find your guests? Well, this guy here, I got a phone call from a very dear friend who used to work at Channel 7, and she went to her high school reunion.
Go Eagles. Woo, woo.
And called me up and said, I've got a guest for your show. And here he is, Timothy Moore. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
you
brother.
are a project development,
Personal development
coach.
Yes, sir.
Development coach. In your own words, please explain what that is for the folks at home.
Absolutely. So personal development is really just about when you step into entrepreneurship, and that journey forces you to personally grow, because you cannot be an effective entrepreneur unless you do that internal work. And so I help entrepreneurs, startup business owners create a clear, concise, and compelling vision statement so that they can break through those invisible barriers and run. And you do that by having that statement of clarity, which is vision.
Timothy, for people who are not familiar with you, you're from Omaha, born and
From
raised,
Omaha, yes.
went to Central High School,
Yes.
class of
85.
85.
It's all right.
And in that time, or after that time, what kind of background do you have helping other people?
Right. So after graduation, joined the military, spent time overseas in Europe, came back to Omaha and decided, all right, I'm gonna really get into IT, which is my background. So I've been a software developer for 20 plus years. And then probably about 3 years ago, my father died. And at that point, at his funeral, I'm crying. I'm bawling at his funeral, laying across the casket. But the thing is, I didn't know why I was really crying, because my father left when I was 8. And I spent my whole life blaming him for everything. Anything that went wrong was his fault because he wasn't around. But I realized I was crying because I lost that person to blame. He's gone. Who do I blame?
You lost your crutch?
I lost my crutch. I couldn't blame him no more. And so it was at that point I let him go. And I realized, you know what, you have to create your own future and your own way forward. And that's when I started the company Vision Writers USA, which is the global leader in the creation of vision statements that inspire and facilitate community growth and economic development. So every person should have clarity of vision.
I was working with Juanita Johnson, who's now the city council member here. And one of the things we ran into a lot on the campaign trail, people going, what would be the game plan for North Omaha? How can we bring North Omaha up to the standards of the rest of the city?
Right.
I've gone head to head with white groups, conservative groups, who are like, oh, what's everybody so worried about in North Omaha? Everybody's got jobs. And I'm going, no, in North Omaha, it's still double digit.
Right.
Okay. So we have bad transportation. We got bad sidewalks. Home ownership is almost nil.
Yeah.
How do we save a community? I don't want to put the weight of the world on you. You're not running for office, but
no.
How would you see a good step?
And this is for me. And what and I just really realized in that journey, you have to be able to see. What you see is what you achieve. And I think most of us have not created enough clarity for the future to decide what we're going to go after. So it goes back to vision. I mean, what you said it. I mean, when you grew up poverty, you grew up seeing all this negative, you grew up seeing all this bad. That's in your vision. So the only way to see anything different is for you as an individual, us as individuals, to decide, okay, this is what I see now, but what do I see in the future?
In other words, reboot that old vision. That's
it. You got to replace it. And I just taught a class on really mastering your words, master your life. And part of the exercise that we did was you have to exchange words. Like there's words in our mind, childhood, mother, parents, school districts, old employers that have put words in our mind. And we still hold on to the meanings of those words. And they're now creating energy within us that's leading us down paths that we really don't want to go, but those words are there. So we literally have to exchange words because life is a marketplace. We're constantly exchanging. We're exchanging money, we're exchanging ideas. So we got to exchange the words that have been placed in our minds as meaning and come up with new words. Replace those words, your life changes just like that.
You got to change the dialogue.
Got to change it. The story. What have you been telling yourself for the last 20, 30 years? That story, those words, those are them. And it doesn't even have to be your words. Your mom could have told you stuff. And here's the thing. We don't remember who said it. We just remember the conclusion that we came up with when they said it. We don't even remember who said it. We don't even remember what was said to us, but we remember the conclusion. So there's some conclusions about ourselves, about other people, about our community, about other African Americans. We come up with conclusions and we don't know where they came from. But somebody gave it, somebody spoke into us at some point, and now that's how we see life.
You said that your father wasn't there for you.
Absolutely.
Where did you get your input from? Was there a grandmother, a mom, a brother, a sister?
Right. My mom was amazing. Amazing. So she
Another
spoke.
Black woman.
Another Black woman. Look, she spoke into my life. But I do remember one thing. I remember she used to teach me every Saturday morning. And I remember one day in about 7th grade, I said, I'm tired of you teaching me. Stop telling me what to do. I need a man in my life. Like
How old are you?
I was in the 7th grade.
Okay.
And
so
I was literally frustrated because I got tired of hearing a female voice. And it got to a point, it just frustrated me of always being the authority figure. I wanted a male authority figure. And from that day forward, she was like, I'm done.
So what did you substitute her with, though?
The streets, video soul. I mean, whatever you see on TV, whatever they was pumping into our minds, rap music in the 80s, you know, how I perceived the cool Black men, young Black men who were older than me, hip hop, that replaced it. So and that's the whole point of what I saw, I emulated. What I saw for my future, I saw myself in what I saw in those videos. So that became my world. That became my paradigm.
Was that a negative image you saw or a positive image? What you
Well,
saw on TV or through media?
When I look back, completely negative. Completely. But I wouldn't understand that then.
But at the time, that's what you wanted to emulate.
That's what I wanted to emulate.
What got you on the right track? Military?
Well, but no, it really was not, because I spent so much of my life angry at my dad for not being there, still having those images in my head, still living out the words and the meanings of what was cool, what was, what I was going to be. So that the shock came when I lost my crutch. I mean, literally, that's when it all shifted. Because even though I had the job, the master's degree, computer, all those different things, what was going on inside my mind was completely different. I might have looked the part, but I sure didn't feel the part.
I'm going to keep coming back to this whole thing of father being there.
Absolutely.
I was lucky, maybe. My father was there.
Okay.
But he was an immigrant, and I was the son of an immigrant, which means in his head, the child must do better than the parent.
Right.
And he kept his foot on me. You couldn't go down there and hang out with those people. I want to know where you are at this.
Yeah.
When the lights turn and I look up that street and he's coming down, I better meet him.
Right. Street lights better be on.
That's right.
Straight on, be home.
Okay.
That's it.
I lost my father 5 years ago. I'm at that point in my life where I look back and go, would he be proud of me now? When you were draped over that coffin with a man you really didn't know, did you have that kind of thought of, I made it without you? Or let's just even say, take it 3 years now to now.
Right.
How do you look back at that relationship with him? Do you think he would give you a pat on the head for what you've done so far with your life? I don't know what type of man he is, but you still look for it?
I never looked for it because it was never there. And so it was just that what I looked for from him was more guidance. Help me how to be a man, help me to pay bills,
Teach me how to tie a tie.
All those, show up at a track meet, show up at my college graduation. Just let me see male support. That's what I wanted. Not necessarily good job, because I knew that wasn't coming, because he only had like a 5th grade education. Yeah. So those things weren't important to him. But it wasn't a matter, like, I don't even look back and say, would he be proud of me? Like, it doesn't even enter into my head. Like, I don't even think about that.
All right. I'm going to get you off of this Dr. Phil moment, okay?
No, we good. I mean, because that's the personal development. But that's that personal development, because you can't take that stuff into business. Like, if you got daddy issues, mommy issues, sibling issues, when you're trying to go get clients, you have to check yourself on how you perceive people. And it's going to be clouded by what you've experienced. And we don't know that until we go to try to handle this deal and try to broker relationships. And all of a sudden, we think that they think something about us. Hear what I said? We think that they think.
You make assumptions before you go in.
And that messes up the ability, because now we're responding to our assumption. And we're giving that energy off, and they're responding to our assumption about what we think they're thinking. And they feel it, and we just lost the deal. That's personal development. What have we experienced that's caused us to look at life that way? To look, and I always teach, there's 3 things: how we see other people, how we see ourselves, and how we think other people see us. Those 3 things, they're key. What we think other people think.
I'm glad in your development that you were able to capture the things that were not given to you by a father figure.
Right.
Because my dad, he was like, well, just let you know, man, you're going to work in a white world. Okay. And he said, you're going to have to be super.
Right.
Okay. You got to be better than them. So they can't say that you're here because of your color. You're here because you're talented. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Hey, you were talking about talking to classes. Let's just say you were standing in front of a group at Metro.
Okay. Metro.
Yes.
College. All right. Gotcha.
Your pitch. What? These are people who have either left high school and decided to go this route with Metro, or they've left a job and decided to go back to school. So they're ready to make a commitment. They don't just leave high school and grab a job. They wanted to go to another level. What do you say to them to get them motivated and right?
So I would say this: find your passion. Write down what makes you happy. Wear that like a lens.
That's legal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's legal. Okay.
I got passion. I can't write down even mention. But
Right. And so being true to yourself. And I know that's hard for a lot of us, figuring out who we are, being true. But if you tap into that, if you own that and you write it down, I keep telling people, you got to write it down. You got to write it down, make it plain so that when you read it, you can run. You have to do that. That piece is so crucial to success. So I would tell these young kids who don't want to write, no, write it. Let it be your record of clarity and read it every day. You're going to be on fire.
I really don't want to sound so Freudian. This is crazy, but when I was 17, my dad took a white index card and a black magic marker, and he wrote, "Why is living life the greatest experience a person can have?" And he handed it to me and he said, "Don't answer me now. Put it away somewhere. Put it in the Bible."
Okay.
And he said, "Come back to it."
Wow.
And every 10 years, I come back to it and I go, I know exactly what it means.
Have you wrote it down?
Oh, I have it down.
Right. What is it?
Oh, well, no. It was, no.
Why is life?
Right after that,
yeah,
I left high school and traveled with a musical group, an international musical group. I came back, went to college, and wanted to teach, but then I decided I wanted to do television. And it was so funny because I never really saw myself doing TV, but I always loved TV news.
Okay.
And I used to sit with him in the one newscast a day they used to have back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was a student of history.
Okay.
So this just worked out well. I mean, it was something I liked to do. I like telling stories. I like telling other people's stories.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess, I wrote that down in my mental ledger.
In your mental ledger.
Yes,
And you
ma'am.
committed it to your subconscious.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Well, that's it.
Earlier, before you came out here, we had Dr. Richard Brown was out here pushing his book, Mission Unstoppable. But he was talking to me while I was waiting to get to you.
Right.
And I'm going, you two should be doing a show together because, that dream you've kept on the back burner, you were born to fulfill it. People are waiting for you to take up the charge and see it through. Your mission is bigger than you.
Mhm.
Your family needs you. Your community needs you. The world needs you. I mean, you like that?
Look,
here's the funny part. I showed him the book. He was going, "Oh, that's really nice." He started. That it was autographed.
Yeah, that's all right. Look, I told you I white it out. I white it out and put my name in there in a heartbeat.
Hey, if someone is interested out there in getting your insight on their development, or they want to have you sit with a bunch of young people and give them your flow.
My flow.
How do people reach out to you?
VisionWritersUSA.com. Click on the link that says learn how to increase your focus.
And he's also on Facebook.
And I'm on Facebook, Vision Writers USA. Pull up my Facebook page. I'm there. Instagram, Vision Writers USA. Pinterest, Vision Writers USA.
Now,
YouTube, Vision Writers USA.
you sound like a busy man because you also told me you had the podcast with these other gentlemen.
Right. So I also have the male perspective. So it's for a gentleman where we focus on relationships, spirituality, fatherhood, and entrepreneurship, and we go real. So it's really about creating a safe place for men to heal. Simple as that.
Without judgment.
Without judgment, because it's a safe place. We got to create it for ourselves. I mean, the ladies do it all the time. They got the bridge club, the boss girls, the boss ladies, the bossettes. I mean, the men need the male perspective. We need a safe place for us to heal. So we allow women a sneak preview into the basement conversation, the man cave conversation. So no judgment. So we actually did the top 10 reasons men cheat. And then we did the top 10 reasons men get married. So that was our season finale. And
Wait a minute.
yeah, it was the ladies was on there like taking notes like, oh, whoa.
All right, you said top 10.
Yeah.
Give me the top 3 reasons why men cheat.
Look, go to Male Perspective.
Go
Go check it out. Go Male Perspective on Facebook. Check it out. Look for the show.
And that's a tease. Timothy Moore,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank
And
you.
we're gonna have to thank Dawn, take her out for a drink or something.
You know what? Let's do it. Come on, Don. Watch this show. We're gonna have a drink.
Okay. And I promised the doctor too, I'd pitch his book again. So it's Mission Unstoppable, $20. I bought it from him sitting there and I felt like I was hustled. Yo, brother, want to buy a book?
Man,
Or a
like
bean pie? Come on.
it was. What is it out of his trunk?
It was out of his bag. I said, Don, he got one with him. Hey, we hope to see you for our next episode of Michael Scott's Candid Conversations. Until then, take care.
Thank you for watching Candid Conversations with Michael Scott. If you'd like to make suggestions, email us at ewcfacts@gmail.com. That's ewcfacts@gmail.com. This has been an EWC Communication production.